Perfect weather for sipping a cup of tea while gazing out the window. It's nearly time for afternoon tea.
Надо сюда сейчас надо идти. Так, что ежедневное задание, наверное, определенное пока что. Ежедневки.
Let's dance.
Здесь тоже что-то есть. Да-да. Нажимайте. На, вон меня.
You're in for a little shock. Let's spark things up a little. I'll catch up.
Тяжелый рок.
Be still.
Опс.
Blitz.
Ну, неплохо.
Come a little closer. You've been a naughty boy. You're in for a little shock.
Сдох. Сдох. Так, здесь все. Сундуков нету.
Perfect weather for sipping a cup of tea while gazing out the window.
А, там сундук есть. Что поменяем? Сам. Блять. А ты козел, блядь.
Oh, so you collect these?
Что тут здесь? Ломок железа.
Assistance.
А, сундук еще есть.
Leave it all to a little dusty. Best give it a spring cleaning.
А, геокол есть. Что это? А, ну здесь уже выход. Вот и вся шахта. Меняем тянку. Досянку.
I'll bring my seasonings.
Упс. На, нам туда. О, колокольчик ста. Заберем.
Boba, get them.
Угу. Не сработал.
Nice and spicy.
Блять, огонь то, что ой, дождь идет, наверное, из-за этого.
At the ready.
Не хочет. Ну ладно, хер с тобой.
I'll bring my seasoning.
Ну, я тебя вижу. Здесь тоже можно забрать. Угу, сдохнем.
Oh my.
О, май. Не было, да, еще этого цветка. Я погуляю. Ты чё? Окно открыть. На, вот туда. Сотка метров. Неприступная оборона.
Cascade. Mind the deluge.
Surrendering and be gentle.
Be still.
Ой, блядь, иди сюда. А, вон он еще козел. А, ты последний остался.
Come a little closer.
Угу, готов. Так, Лизу надо подхилять. Ни одного сундука нету. Камни только. Ну, вот там есть сундук, разберем. Все.
All yours, should you have any use for them.
Следующее задание. Не вижу. Мало. Держите. А сначала до этого сгоняем, наверное, до сундука. Потом уже пешочком. Ага, увидел. Да куда ты, блядь, не бил?
Be still.
Так, что, испытание сделаем? Опс. Да, блядь. Проебал, да? Ну, заебись. Я залетел и провалил испытание. Красавчик. Да, мне нужно достигнуть-то. А, туда? Ай, блядь. Достиг нахуй. Все, что можно было, провалил, блин.
Leave it to me.
Где-то еще, вон еще.
Another target tracked down by Outrider
Нам
Amber.
туда.
Be still.
Ну вот так, да, понятно. Пробуем еще раз. О, пирожочек, привет. Есть и еще один остался. А, вон он снизу есть. Как жизнь, как дела? Так, и третий. Всё, сундук мой.
All yours, should you have any use.
Какой-то лук выпал, нифига себе. Посыльный. Так, мне туда нужно. Сверху вроде ничего нету. Что даже ни одного колокольчика не видно. ПС сдохла. Че, вообще в край, что ли? Не запускается? Блять. Чуть не упал.
Cascade.
Не в ту сторону. Могу нет поменять. Жесть. И сколько, блин, ремонт тебе обойдется?
I'll bring my seasonings.
Ничего не сказали, да? Так, добежал. Все. Поручение выполнено. Да уж. Прикинь, сейчас в десятку он тебе упадет. Ремонт. Что ты сейчас на чем играешь? На телефоне? Так что, наверх что ли ползти? Да, здесь пройдемся. Ты. А это что такое? А. Сокровище руин. Глаз бога. Ну и что случилось? Непонятно. Ладно, вставляем. У меня же задание есть, нужно эти штучки все активировать. Руда есть, давай заберем. Так, руды уже у меня мало. Хопс. Хопс. Так что, мне вниз что ли идти? Да, походу здесь спустимся. Так, там я был. Что-то хз, я правильно иду, неправильно? Не знаю даже. Да нет, все правильно. Скидыщ. Опа, крыса. Так еще мелочь осталась. Вроде бы всех забрал, да. Уроды, а? Что-то их так тяжело бить, блин. Прям вообще ужас. Так, что еще осталось? А, нет, все вроде бы. Все сделал. 92 из 160. Что нам Манштадт? Сдавать квесты. Погнали. Погнали.
Let the show be.
Хиляемся немножко. Давай, я тоже хпшек мало.
Thank you for completing today.
Оба. Вот так я же 29 что ляпнул.
Add Astra.
Нифига себе. Скорость восстановления энергии на 20%. Чернильница ученого. Так, а здесь походу надо квест делать, да?
Add Astra.
Надо 30-ку сегодня апнуть. Подожди, там же экспедиции еще.
Add Astra.
Наверное, не сделались.
Welcome to the.
Да, еще не готово. Не готово. А, копья нету. Боссы. Да, мне надо этот. Зависеть же. Для пушки. 25, да? И можно сделать. Пусть будут начать. Так, теперь, наверное, на квест пойдем. Либо хазем. Так, здесь вот эти нужно набрать. 30 уровень, да? Оружка. Тоже 30-ка. Детеныш Геошвилла. Это все набрать можно. Среда, суббота, воскресенье. Так, а здесь что у нас? Маги бездна. Вторник, пятница, воскресенье тоже, да? Ай. Нету тоже. Гипостазисы. Ну, 2 штучки осталось. В принципе, можно сейчас через алхимию сделать. На этом у меня все закрыто. Что, фиолетовые надо, да, вроде бы? Угу, фиолетовые. Нет, дальше алхимия. Ну, это тоже могу делать, что ли? А, нифига себе. Это что такое? Зелье теплового щита. Ох, жесть, жесть. А, ну это все закрыто, да, еще? Еще малый глуп. На, тут одну могу сделать. Мне сколько надо? 2 вроде. Угу, 2 штуки есть. Собрать все.
Sure, I forgot
Так, ну что, пойдем на задание, что ли?
something. Not to worry, simply send someone to fetch it.
Хотя можно... Так, где у меня персонажи? Розария. Ее можно повысить. Блин, для этих не хватит. Каталанта, что она делает? Древковая, да? Копья. Кривой урон. Угу, понятно. Путь в ночи. На 10% передвижение увеличено. Ну, нормально, неплохо, в принципе. Что-то я пока... них, блин. Ареста так жалко. И какое оружие? Ну-ка. Расскажи. Так, здесь на пятак прокачано. 0,06. Давай-ка лучше, наверное. Пятнерка авто. М. Хм. Предлагаешь там квестик сделать. Так, 7 уровень. Так, ставим на 7, наверное, пока. Так, а здесь кого у нас? 10. Жесть. Да, давай тоже вкачаем. Ага, нету материалов. Я думаю, пока делать основную сюжетку, что ли, блин. Что я хз даже. Надо сделать, чтобы локация новая открылась, и я тоже прокачать. Вот здесь имеешь в виду, что ли? В Снежной горе. Большое количество агатов. Ага. Так, кузницу надо идти. Так, получить, да? 18 штук. Блин, 25 нужно еще и этот. Копье материал нужен. Так, ну что, я, наверное, пойду на главную миссию, что ли? Хз даже. Надо сделать. Потом вот это потратим. Кто мы? М? 50 руды. О, жесть, жесть. Где столько набрать труды, блин. Так, ладно, я, наверное, на главную миссию пойду. Так не хочу я делать, блин, вообще. Ну, надо уже сделать, открыть все. Ох, мясо. Еще еду надо наготовить. Что-то хапки вроде бы маловато уже. Ну, а руда там есть. Сейчас заберу. Воры, воры. А, все, больше нету. Да, все набрала, нет, вот еще есть. Железо. Хоба, хоба. Отлично, не зря пришел. Ну, там еще есть. Всю гору оббегали, нифига себе. Все, роду нашли. Колокольчиков не видно.
Right on time. I
Джунли.
myself only arrived moments ago. Did you enjoy your visit to the Jade Chamber?
It was so big and pretty and expensive. Paimon's never seen such a fancy schmancy place before.
Indeed. It's second to none in all of Liyue. Then you met with Ningguang, I trust? What did you talk about with her?
She's super rich and so generous. Paimon thinks she's very friendly. Yeah, her take on Ningguang is quite different from Paimon's. She thinks that even the tactless Yuheng is more trustworthy than her.
Oh, so you also met with
Длинный
Genshin?
квест, что ли?
What did she have to say?
She said the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue?
No respect for the divine. Indeed, contrary to the ever-bold Keqing,
Так, пойду,
Ningguang is
наверное,
more of a
кофейку долью.
businesswoman at
Сейчас
heart,
вернусь.
though they are both members of the Qixing. Although she's friendly, there's no way of clearly discerning her true intentions. Yes, she has only relied on herself to rise to her current position. No ordinary person could ever achieve that. It's said that she's the one behind the constant expansion of the Jade Chamber. It's the second most important thing to her. Even if she ever gave up the position of Tianquan, she would never give up the Jade Chamber.
The Jade Chamber is only second. What's the most important thing to her then?
Why, Mora, of course.
All Ningguang talked about was the Fatui this and the Fatui that. She said that after Rex Lapis was murdered, the Fatui have constantly been trying to sink their fingers into Liyue, and that they aren't to be trusted.
That is how the Fatui have always been. It doesn't surprise me in the least. No matter what they may be planning,
А, чисто из-за агатов,
must
что
be
ли?
careful when dealing with the Fatui. Always be on your guard.
So, is there anything we need to get for the rite of
Да,
parting
надо
and
ведь тоже
being all
сделать,
right?
наверное.
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Today, we'll be gathering wild glaze lilies.
Где этот квест находится? В какой части? Север, юг, запад, восток?
Doesn't the garden in
Или
Genshin
посерединке?
Impact have some? Even Qingsa village has glaze lilies. Oh, right! Paimon remembers that Madame Ping is always tending to flowers. Maybe we could ask her.
No, those lilies have all been gardened by people. They won't do it all. Dihua Marsh used to be full of glaze lilies. It is a sort of joyful flower that listens to human song. Before the Archon War, Dihua Marsh was all dry land and fertile soil. But the war caused landslides, and the land was flooded, turning it into the marsh you see now. Nearly all the glaze lilies were wiped out. Of course, there are some kinds of flowers that have been preserved and gardened by people in the city. But very few people know that glaze lilies may still be found in the wild. Wild glaze lilies have the strongest fragrance. If we want to follow the true tradition of the rite of parting, we must grind up the wild lilies and
Жесть,
cleanse the
такие
powder
диалоги,
essence
конечно,
with
длинные,
everlasting
ужас.
incense. But I'll need your assistance in gathering these flowers.
Ну-ка, давай первое спросим.
No, I need you to sing to them.
А, цветам
Singing
спеть.
to the flowers will make them more fragrant.
Угу, понял,
So
пирожочек.
who is your singing? Really? Why doesn't Paimon believe you?
Меймон
We'll only
сомневается.
know once she starts singing.
4 точки. Так, и куда? А, вон. А, этим цветам, да?
It's time to sing whenever you're ready.
Чудо не произошло.
What happened? These flowers are
Талык
jumping.
должен быть.
They look really angry. Is this because you sang a song for
naughty boy.
Huh?
Ай, блин, замерз.
Be still.
Вздох.
Those weren't glaze lilies. Glaze lilies wouldn't hit people.
This little monster is known as a whopper.
Попрыгунья.
Strange. These petals look interesting. The glaze lilies used as a disguise were buried with the whopper flower for too long. The result seems to have surprisingly potent medicinal value. Let's collect what we can of these petals.
Well, that's nice and all, but will those petals be useful for the rite of parting?
Unfortunately, no.
Печально.
That's so lame.
Excuse me.
М,
Are you searching for glaze lilies?
Oh, hey!
С рожками.
What's her face? Paimon can't remember.
Блин. Как ее зовут, пирожочек? Не Сяо, случайно? Блять. Забыл. Первая? Угу.
Hello, traveler. I'm surprised you still remember my name. That
Классная
reminds
тянка.
me. How was your visit to the Jade Chamber?
Well, it sure would have been better if you told us how to get up there.
Как туда
Didn't I tell
попасть?
you the way? Surely I did.
Nope, we found the way on our own.
Oh,
Второе
I
сделаем.
see. Uh-oh. I guess I really did forget to tell them.
Huh. Something seems a little off about Ganyu.
Ведет себя немножко странно.
The first time we met. Where's her serious attitude now?
Ah, well, I met you at that time as an emissary of the Tianquan. But now, I am simply out on a stroll to see the flowers.
You came all the way out here to see the flowers? Why not just enjoy the gardens of the city?
Yujing Terrace is where Rex Lapis parted from this world. If I strolled through those lonely gardens now, I wouldn't be able to bear it. Whenever my duties take me near Yujing Terrace these days, I draw the windows to block my view of the gardens.
Oh, sorry. We shouldn't have brought it up.
No, it's quite all right. I just haven't processed my emotions yet. When the Archon War came to its end 2,000 years ago, yes, now that the spirit of Rex Lapis has returned to the heavens, only Barbados of Mondstadt remains of the first 7. The other 5, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, are no longer the same friends from 2,000 years ago. Of the current 7 Archons, the youngest is Sumeru's god of Dendro. She is merely 500 years old, whereas Rex Lapis was more than 6,000 years old at the time of his passing. This means that Liyue had been under Rex Lapis's rule from the moment it was first founded 3,700 years ago. The city has never had to bid farewell to its deity.
So what do you think of this farewell?
Huh? This is a little sudden. As a mortal, I've never dared to imagine a Liyue without Rex Lapis. But as an Adeptus, I think I will eventually come to grips with reality. Since Rex Lapis has passed, the time of Liyue's contract with the gods and Adepti has now reached its end.
Huh? Did you just say, as an Adeptus?
Yes, I am a mix of human and
Adept.
Chilean. Adeptus blood flows through my veins. I fought for Rex Lapis and the city of Liyue during the Archon War. After the war ended, I signed a contract with Rex Lapis and took the position as secretary for the Qixing.
Давай первое.
Let's save that conversation for another day. You say that you are here looking for glaze lilies?
Нормальные у нее рожки.
I also know where wild glaze lilies can be found. See, I've just picked one myself. Here, you may have it if you wish.
We dare not refuse it.
Oh, so did you sing a song before you picked the lily?
Indeed, I did. I know this tradition well.
Народная песня
In
Льве.
fact, I sang a local Liyue ballad to it.
Wow, so you really know your stuff, too. Thanks, Gunyu.
No, it is you who I should be thanking. If not for this chance meeting, I never thought that I would be able to contribute to the upcoming farewell for our ancient lord. If you would excuse me, I should return to my work now.
Ходит
Good
коза.
luck.
And
Good
that
luck.
just about does it. Our preparations for the rite of parting are mostly finished. Given the ease of picking glaze lilies, I think this was a fitting...
Yeah, Paimon can already imagine him starting a business in Liyue.
I've had enough ventures in my life already. Beginning a new undertaking is always difficult at first, and requires no small amount of effort, so you must be careful to take the time to step back and re-examine yourself.
Wow. See, Jean? Alright, I think it's about time we
Пора возвращаться. В Льве. Что, нам ТПшку надо делать, да? Давай отсюда, наверное. Ага, вот туда нам.
Huh? What happened? The city gate is swarming with Millilith and... the Fatui?
Феликс. Что много народу, да, здесь?
Ah, you're the consultant to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Mr. Zhongli, I presume. The Millilith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times. We mustn't act rashly.
Desperate times?
Чайные
The
времена.
Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise force?
Most likely. I've heard that some members of the Qixing have already gone to meet them. Well, I say meet, but it's more like they're attempting to stall the Adepti outside the city. However, both sides were quite obstinate and hit an impasse.
It seems inevitable, given the current situation.
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the Geo-Archon. If the two sides come to blows, Liyue Harbor will be in no position to stop them.
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the sort to give in so easily.
They're bone...
And what now?
Блять, скипнул.
How is it that the Fatui...
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed
Ningguang.
that in these tumultuous times, the Millilith must rein in the actions of the... Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your act...
Будьте
Things
начеку.
are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between... Neither path is an easy one.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has also been caught up in all of this.
Things are taking a turn for the worse. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at Wangsheng Funeral Park. Consider your next course of action carefully, traveler. If you're trying to
Нужно
prevent...
найти вестили.
Having connections with... So what does Zhongli mean by looking for the fuse? Oh, Paimon gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city turned upside down, he must be waiting for the moment when no one is watching. But where could we find him now? Where would he go at a time like this?
В одно место. Так, 500 метров, да, надо ТПшку сделать. Блин, далеко идти. Далековато. Угу, побежали. О, псы. А, блин, по дороге надо было идти. Ага, почти добежал. Опять стамины не хватает, конечно. Золотая плата. А, здесь будем драться. Да, все, начать делаем. Еще длинная, нет?
Wow.
Цепочка заданий. Пирожочек. Не в курсе?
Impressive enough from the outside,
Или, либо, вернее, не помнишь?
even fancier on the inside. This is where all of Tabatsumora is minted, right? In that case, oh, so it's a trap. Tricky. But even if we can't
А, она
do
хотела
it,
все монетки взять себе.
still have a closer look, right?
Посмотрим поближе.
Up on top of a mountain of Mora. It's like a dream come. Oh, right. Back to business. It's
Совсем уже забыла.
too quiet. Huh? Look! What happened
Ну,
here? Uh-oh. Paima, quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all right.
пойдем вперед.
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here?
Так, а
Haven't you
кто?
already seen enough trouble for today?
Huh? Who's there?
If you were
Nah,
from
child.
Tsui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way.
Похоже, мы вовремя
Although I'm
сделаем.
deeply grateful to you that I was able. Don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort? Stopping the more immense, hiding away the Exuvia.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, she will get that which she desires.
А, давай первое.
I'm not asking for your blessing, and the time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that stage either way. We now come to the battle.
Схватки.
Battle? So you're...
You could say that. When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her. When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. Besides, you could never defeat. Fighting talk, I love it. This chance
Ничего,
is
бой.
hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with the Fatui Harbinger. So come now.
Ну, нифига себе.
And don't you dare disappoint. Poor timing. How unbecoming.
Still.
Ох, блин.
Not bad. Not bad.
Отхиляем.
You've got it. Haha, good. No wonder Signora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger.
Где он? Вот он, крестеныш, сбежал.
No use hiding back
I'll
there.
protect us.
Опа.
Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get.
Куба.
Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected. Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now.
Из еженедельных это волк имеешь в виду, что ли?
See. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
Ну, блин, как тебе сказать? Да легко, нормально, в принципе. Только я ладонь не понял из него, какой лут выпадает. В прошлый раз, первый раз, какой-то лут-то не очень выпал. Ох, жесть. Опа. Вот он, урод.
You got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster?
Блять.
Leak the information regarding the Golden House to me on purpose? No matter. Hand the Gnosis over. Now,
Жесть, я сейчас сдохну.
don't make me take it from you.
We didn't take it.
You're in for a little shock. Blitz.
Блять.
I'll protect us.
Be still.
Ах ты, сука.
Blitz.
Boba, get them.
Мне надо я-то подхилять. Ага, сбежал, успел.
Nice and spicy. Help! Regenerate attack.
Да блин.
Die here.
Мгм.
Out of the frying pan. It's
Ты, сука. О, сейчас сдохну.
Mind the deluge.
Надо Барбару использовать.
let the show.
Be still.
Come a little closer.
Ага, не достал, что ли? Все есть. Тяжеловато, конечно, тяжеловато.
Look, child's back to normal again.
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of
Что за сюжет джунгли?
transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this through. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
That's what we've been trying to tell you. We didn't take it.
Your show of ability today
Через
far
задание
surpasses
для
that
ген,
of
что ли,
Signora's
через это
initial
делать?
assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that? You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes.
А, ну у меня там все
That is a
заблочено.
secret you wish to keep,
Надо
Guess I
какое-то
just have to
задание
curb
сделать,
my
чтобы открыть.
curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. My quest still beckons. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. Perhaps it was never in the Exuvia to begin with. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a diversion of sorts.
What? So you mean that...
Давай второе.
Yes, it appears so. Interesting to say the least. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundaries of contracts. As such, we must now look to our
Запасному
backup plan.
плану.
backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this, for the weak will be swept away in the process. The truth is, the world belongs to those who pursue strength. I seldom willingly involve myself with the weak.
Да, сюжетку надо делать. Не помню, после какого задания открывается.
Methods as Fatui harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime.
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyon's stone forest.
A god?
Так, я окно открою, наверное, пока.
Sile, overlord of the vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the Geo-Archon in the Archon War, and who has remained pinned beneath the waves by the Geo-Archon's stone spears ever since. If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless without the protection of its deity, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear in a world now overseen by the Seven?
Блин, круточки бы, конечно, сделать, но у меня, блин, не хватает.
To awaken it.
Hey, those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our
Не малейша.
breaking the
Да, я
subdued
хочу на
might of
пушке
Geo-Archon's
покрутить.
spears for a time should be no obstacle. Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is largely against my principles. But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo-Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that makes matters a little more intriguing.
О, сразу же гроза пошла. О, жесть. Шторм, шторм. Да я не знаю, что выпадет, честно говоря. Что выпадет? Мне жопа. Как обычно.
Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on?
Все, мы все умрем, походу, да? О, жесть. Походу, реально мы сейчас сдохнем.
Paimon's exhausted.
Паймон вымоталась. Так, а что сделаем?
We hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the gate.
Окно закрою, а то уже холодно стало.
Wouldn't have known which way to go. Do we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea? It hasn't destroyed Liyue yet, has it?
What are you doing here?
Adepti? What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with...
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences
На,
aside
объединиться
for now
решили.
and
Молодцы.
unite against this common enemy.
Молодцы какие.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Liyue? Just seeing this overlord of the vortex side
Мурашки по коже.
Paimon's tummy, even from all the way
А тоже мурашки пошли от холода, блять.
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary
Так, ну давайте
people
уже
to
бой,
handle.
бой, где бой?
Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? Now that's scary.
240, жесть, блять. Сколько мне копить придется,
Will the
блин?
power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is not
Это мне
necessary.
сколько недель надо это все копить?
But all of you are supposed to be the guardians of Liyue. Can't you think of something?
One certainly could. The Qi-Sing did once research the
ballista.
matter of the Guizhong ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong ballista with one's own hands.
Легендарка, да? Угу.
For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an engine.
Блин, это
full of
80 круток,
larger
это сколько
wildest
копить-то надо будет? Сколько месяцев?
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to man it. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now.
Yep.
Ну, это что такое?
The Fatui! They're attacking the Guizhong ballista!
Что прям где-то, блядь, стучат, не могу понять. Откуда?
Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you? One wishes to witness.
It isn't time for a break yet.
Into the fire!
Cascade.
Один сдох. Опа. Угу, сдох. Походу еще буду, да? Зря, наверное, ульту потратил. А вон еще вышел. Ах, крыса. Тоже сдох.
That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. careful not to get hit.
Тоже так квесты делаю. Благодаря этому, что ли, имеешь в виду? Копить проще.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Жесть.
Trying.
The ancient gods attacking again! There are so much between two!
Опа!
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children? Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
Еженедельные квесты, да?
Gentle energy! That light from your body, it's like the time in Julian Cars! Wow! It's a Madame Pink shockwave! This granny's really strong!
Не готовы еще.
Nova, get them!
Be still. The depth back.
Опа! Блять, замерз. Козел убежал.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the
Чё идёт?
wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So basic for Ganya's like in a fight!
Так, ульта у Сянки готова.
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
Да, за ежедневные они же не так много дают нам. Не так много. Опа. Огонь.
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Да. Забрал. Вот там еще идут.
Let's spark things up a little.
Cascade. Kamisato.
Тоже используем.
Suiyu.
Nice and spicy!
Угу. Гори в аду, крыса.
Exercise caution. I fear that the god's power has reached its peak.
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
Блин. Сейчас одну башню разрушат уже.
Cascade.
Готовы. А вот там еще тоже вышли. Так, Лизу сразу же врубим здесь, наверное.
Try not to enjoy this.
Nice and spicy!
Be still.
А вот еще одна осталась.
Cascade.
И придется все заново, да, начинать.
Fight on, comrades. Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
Да, это будет жестко, если я так профокуюсь. Здесь меньше всего хп уже, блин. Якс.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may
Что
commit
получилось?
ourselves fully.
Нихуя. Варс, ну-ка. Походу, да, получилось у нас.
We just need to keep this up.
Изи. Ой, мы сейчас сдохнем. Ну, одна сломана, что ли? Опа. Ну ладно, хоть все выжили.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
Нифига себе.
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Ух, нифига. Минус дворец, да. Ну, походу, получилось.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh.
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue 3,700 years ago. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was thousands of years before. This is truly no small feat. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebearers, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
Все, я вернулся.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Будет весело. Угу.
Right. That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell this.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens?
Блин, пойду катал на
I
корабле.
already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millelith. I have come to extend my thanks to the Adepti. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the... Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millelith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone was there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and loads of things that make the harbor so pretty. Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern rite.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. It must be hard being an Adeptus. Aww.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Да, второе дело.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, conqueror of demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place. Fair enough.
Да, все, уходит уже.
And return whence we came.
Владыка Лун.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this...
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided.
Да, благоразумие сделал.
It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting one thing. Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out. But we were able to handle the overlord of the vortex.
Тяночки одни остались.
So Rex Lapis never showed up. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death too? Paimon doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have?
Так, давай, наверное, здесь ТПшку сделаем. А, хотя здесь ближе.
The Adepti-less rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshan Funeral Parlor.
Скоро уже 30-ку апну.
Is there anything I can do for you two?
Паромщица.
I'm afraid that Wangshan Funeral Parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
Чай будешь? Что за чай?
See Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
Doesn't the
А,
Northland Bank
чайник.
belong to the Fatui? Last time we saw Zhongli was
Все, я
before we
понял
went to
тогда.
the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui, we had better go and make sure that everything...
Пойдем за ними, что ли, получается? А, наверх. А, блин, почему показывают вниз? Ладно. Нам наверх надо. Да, сундук брал. Сколько там? 1200, что ли, было? Привет.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that. Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And... you!
Сеньора.
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name. Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something...
No, don't let her get to you! You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements, and our last battle at the Golden House was almost more than you could handle. So it might be best to keep things peaceful this time, seeing that 2 of the Harbingers are here.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you?
Кроме нашей небольшой схватки, где он сосал.
Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee. For my promise.
Джунгли предатель, получается. Да уж.
How sanctimonious.
Тема сисек раскрыта, я считаю.
What? So you're the Lord of Chio? No, wait. That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky and all of Liyue goes into an uproar. Talk about a disaster.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was
Wait, what?
perhaps it's best that as you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. It is now 3,700 years ago that I founded Liyue, together with the Adepti. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. Until one drizzly day, as I was strolling along the harbor, I stood motionless among the crowd.
Oh, Zhongli!
But as I began to consider relinquishing my was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to... So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Chising.
Давай первое, наверное.
Indeed I was. The Gnosis, which I had kept for so many years, suddenly seemed to have lost its meaning. That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring Liyue back under control?
Of course. And it would have been all too easy for him, too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so
in the end, the resolution to all... Take the Adepti, for instance. Owing to their years of seclusion, they were the least informed. Yet when faced with a crisis, they commendably showed the greatest amount of restraint possible. Credit is also due to Signora, the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill... This meant I could remain as Zhongli, even having the chance to fulfill the age... All of these things turned out as I had planned. There is only one thing that I had not. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti. They seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine protectors.
Huh? That doesn't sound good at...
On the contrary, I think it is
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit...
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of...
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Hey, have you learned the newest saying? Don't...
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with...
Do as you wish.
Классная тянка, конечно.
Is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade.
Realistically speaking, there is...
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, my agreement with the Cryo-Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo-Archon. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsari... Uncover that answer for yourself in your future...
Козел не сказал, да? Ну, видимо, потом узнаем. Здесь же вроде бы сундук был, который я забрал. Да, здесь. Угу. Я, наверное, пожалуй, быстренько себе хавку разогрею. Что-то хавать уже охота. Сейчас подойду.
Today's no good for going out. Did I say that yesterday as well?
Well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I guess it means that those rumors hit the nail on the head.
So Rex Lapis is really... But they didn't catch the culprit, did they?
Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think. I don't think any of the gossip on the streets you hear from those shady types is worth anything. There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the assassin was that Fatui fellow. Youngish, pretty high in rank. I think they called him Child.
Fatui? They certainly
Так, я,
look
наверное,
very
пока микро
suspicious.
выключу, я быстренько
Who knows
похаваюсь.
what those greedy, crooked folks...
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights, Rex Lapis won't be around to protect you this time.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis subdued it.
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and released that evil god might have been one and the same?
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. Yes, it's very possible indeed. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Oh, that wicked, black-hearted scoundrel. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person possess to be able to do such things? I have never heard of such a person in all my years.
Ah, forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millilith over there looks like he's about to make an announcement. Let's hear what the Ministry of Civil Affairs has to say first.
Hear ye all! The Chising's words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common knowledge. Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. So too must they face divinely appointed trials. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis was murdered. Now, let the truth be revealed. Having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve not and to let not their hearts be saddened. Nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Chising's announcement said. So that's how they're spinning it. Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how this excuse sounds like something they just made up on the spot. Could the Chising already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? But Zhongli said that neither they nor the Adepti knew anything. Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis changed? Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting has been going on for a while now. Let's go have a look.
It's nearly time for afternoon tea.
it's Ningguang and Kuchi.
Все, я
Are they
здесь.
saying something? Are there
Место
speeches?
похавал. Снова сыт и доволен. Так, блять, на авто надо сделать.
As said previously, Rex Lapis' soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you
Чё,
stand
пирожочек, чем
with us
занимаешься?
as we reestablish our contracts, as we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Ага, смотрит в нашу сторону.
Yikes! She really is looking our way.
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So yeah. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard,
Чё, куда собираешься
our
идти?
eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price.
А, выбирай любую награду.
Whoa.
Какой выбор будет из наград? Никакой, наверное.
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Пропавшим человеком. Последнее прощание. Что мне здесь же надо делать, да?
Roping you in was
Так, что мне надо здесь сделать? На, один из трех.
If you were looking for someone, you could have.
Два из трех. Юй. Юй. Все сделал. Так, теперь к этому черту нужно подойти. Натуральный черт.
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Расслабленно.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for
3700 лет, 3000 лет, 700, почти 4000 лет жил, что ли?
If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Shinya kiosk.
That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you
Три
if you
чашки
were
в порту.
treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Shinya kiosk. Are you sure you can afford it?
You're right. I do lack the Mora.
Давай первое.
Why would Morax lack Mora?
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth
Соблюдать
as
правила
the
этого
mortal
мира.
Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to rehearse a little for my new life.
Oh, no wonder. Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say
Тратили деньги
In
Фатуи.
the city of commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also, the Archon Morax, could never experience.
Не бесит здесь длинные диалоги.
I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli. That is true. But there is no journey.
Paimon thinks that we should make a...
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before.
Raiden.
Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is
Shogun
also the
Inazuma.
Shogun of Inazuma,
Shogun.
people call her the Raiden Shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation... Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what...
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating...
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Ina...
They want to seize visions? But why? Aren't visions blessed?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes,
Whoa. That's all?
the Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed knowing her, she must have again quoted that 7 ideals for 7 gods. And of thee, all right
Небесный
then.
порядок.
Was there anything else you wish to know? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get in.
На счастливый случай положить. Доступно начиная с ранга приключений 30. Ай, блин, мне не хватило, да? Тридцатый уровень нужен. Анонимус, привет, привет. Сладкий пирожочек. Как дела, как жизнь? Че, в школу собираешься? О, смотри-ка, сколько дали. Ах ты же, блядь, не учишься. Я же забыл. Так, здесь все. Да-да-да, я вспомнил, что ты не учишься пока. Заколебало меня называть сладким, блядь. Там внизу здание есть. Задание легенда. Закрыто все. Ракет нужен. Анонимус, не смеши мои старые кости. Да все закрыто. А вот как быстро листать. 32 ранг нужен. Магазин Паймон. Так, ну что, пойдем на дворец неожиданности, наверное. Либо сюда. Кстати, чайник задание здесь. Может, чайник сделаем? О, жесть. А, вот есть открытое. Закрыто, закрыто. Ветер дует. Так, ну давай сделаем, наверное, вот этот чайник, задание. Нелька открыта. Чай чекнем. Нет, закрыто. Все закрыто. А, нет, ключик можно потратить. Путь рыцаря Орда Фавониус. О, ну привет, привет. Как ты, пирожок? Так, здесь задание тоже. Да, сейчас я, наверное, все-таки задание чайника буду делать. У бабульки этой. Труба зовет. Так, и где ты? А, наверху. Ты чё, до него обиженку включила, что ли? Ты чё? Обиженка. Сука. Так, заберем задание. Нет, я все-таки, наверное, задание чайника сделаю. Учение горничной. Это столько мне заданий надо сделать, что ли? Нет, я задание чайника сделаю. Я не знаю, почему тут синенькая полоска. Сделаем его. Наверх. Наверх, наверх. Навстречу приключениям. Не заставляй даму ждать. Ничего страшного. Такого самца пусть подождет. Зря, что ли, меня мама растила. Так, вот она, бабуля.
Children, come.
О, дети, дети.
You've arrived at just the right moment. I've been looking for you.
Да, 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 Анонимус. Именно так. Именно так.
No. You've done so much for Lea Harbor already. I could hardly ask for more. In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our heads together to think of what sort of gift we might give you in return.
A gift for Paimon?
Ха-ха. Вот и сразу же глаза загорелись.
Oh, child, You are so very modest.
Чё её жалеть?
Uncommonly so.
Баб много на свете, а я у мамочки один, так что бабы подождут.
Won't allow it. When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little friend mention that you often camp out in the wilds. That simply won't do, especially since I imagine you still have a very long journey ahead of you. Fortunately, I have not yet grown. Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, it is a blessing we old folks once received from Rex Lapis, part of our illumination.
Ой, что тут такое Empire сделал? Что это вообще
I
такое?
will not go into too much detail, but subspace creation is the ability to create a small, autonomous pocket world. The teapot that you entered previously.
А что дает вообще мана
I
это?
think it created using that ability.
Безделушка.
In the eyes of an adeptus, creating a magic teapot world is just child's play, huh?
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of.
А ты мне ничего не говорила?
Rex Lapis, on the
Дорогая,
other hand,
блядь.
moved mountains and seas. That is what one might call an exercise of true power. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few final materials to add the finishing touch.
Давай первое.
That's right! Finding stuff's what we're good at, after all.
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no
Ну
need
ты, конечно, на нем дома сиди-ка все время.
thither. I have already found a fleet-footed youngster to prepare what I need. What's more,
Лучше бы сидел и книжки читал,
doubt that you would know how to find
а не
materials
на
I'm
аниматяночек
searching for.
заглядывался.
Some of them are very rare. Well, for starters, I
Мерцающая глина
shimmer soil from the
с
banks of
островов.
Dihua Marsh. Back in the day, it could only be found where the glaze lilies thrived most profusely. You would have to dig downward, following the roots of the glaze lilies, and if you were lucky enough, you just might find a small patch of shimmer soil there. But almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil in this manner since Dihua Marsh came to be
Да,
the way
с
it
чисто мне это
is.
нравится.
Even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to be.
Понял тебя,
Since the
Анонимус.
Blackcliff Forge opened for business, they've slowly but surely stripped the mines all but completely bare of it. In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure, and the adeptal power within is not something that most humans can withstand. Extended contact with it is, in fact, harmful to humans. Goodness knows if that child will succeed in finding these.
Так, что, ребят, вечером что будем играть? Гейшит или что-то другое?
Granny, the person you asked for help, they must be an adeptus
Гейшит.
too, right?
Yes. I suppose she does count as an adeptus.
She counts? How come there are so many adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into them all the time. It feels like even when you go out to eat, you could be sitting next to an adeptus and never even know it.
Oh, maybe so. Who can say?
Нужно больше тянок. Да, ты прав.
Mortal life, after all.
I'm back, Granny. Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Это новая Тян.
Allow me to do the honors.
Янь
This
Фэй.
child here is Yen Fei. She's the one helping run some errands for
Помощница типа.
Yen Fei. I believe you've already heard of the traveler and her traveling companion.
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millilith's
Новая
records.
Тянка.
You became one of Liyue's
Внучка.
most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. After which, you fought off the Millilith at Julian Karst and made contact with the Fatui. before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the Chising. A shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately, but it certainly would have been less, embarrassing for you. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yenfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right to me. Oh, yes, here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details and office address. Keep it handy. If you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note
Да,
at this
анонимусы я их не собираюсь
address.
ставить.
To mention,
Только за
I
баллы
offer a
канала.
very generous discount for
Стикеры.
first-time customers.
All right, Yenfei, all right. Let's get to the business at hand. I do not think these two
Вот
are
ты
in
здесь не
any dire
проказничал,
need of
паразит.
legal assistance at the moment.
Потом начнешь опять
Sweet
спамить стикерами,
Yenfei.
блин.
She's always been like this. Ever the talkative one when it comes.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question. You seem really different from the ones we've met before.
An Adeptus? I guess. Kinda. My old man said he was one anyway. He mentioned that he once campaigned with the Rex
Я само
Lapis for
зло,
a long
анонимус.
time, and then after that was all over, he went
Все
back
прям
to
как ты
marry my
любишь.
mom. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving me with Granny.
Да-да-да, именно так.
So for an Adeptus?
Я больше стикеры не буду ставить.
Contracts to protect Liyue Harbor and all that stuff? What do you mean he just went back to get married?
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis, and that he was fine with it. Even contributed towards the wedding gift, apparently. Anyway, let's not dwell
Вот
on
если бы
that
ты
too
ими не
much.
спамил,
So, Granny,
то я бы
I've
оставил
gotten a
их.
hold of most of the stuff you asked for,
А то ты начинаешь, и
except for
другие
Smaragdus
начинают
data.
продолжать
I
спамить.
couldn't find any at all.
Кто ты? Отец?
But
Сынок,
Smaragdus
сынок.
is really rather essential.
Ты еще малый, глуп.
Yenfei,
Ты не видал
I'm
больших.
sure you can't
Не
find
буду
some
дальше
other
говорить.
way. They have helped Liyue greatly after all. It is only right that they are duly rewarded.
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already.
А что у тебя случилось,
The
Empire?
chasm's definitely a no-go, but there's still a chance we can figure out some alternative means of procurement. Hold on a moment. Let me have a look.
Whoa, that's a really thick book. What kind of things do you write in there?
Commercial consultancy.
Да вот, ты же начал. Потом другие начали спамить.
Snezhnaya? Ah, found him. Krusel. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. If my memory serves, all of them had to do with rare ores.
Что, капли в нос не помогают уже, да?
Considering acquiring some Smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was planning to sell them in Snezhnaya. So, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck,
Так она быстро очень говорит, жесть.
jadeite, or might have an idea of, oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but it's best if you just stand by and watch. If you try to get involved, you'll only risk placing yourself in legal jeopardy.
Wow, an Adeptus imploring us to avoid incurring legal liability. Well, that's a first for sure.
Ну, пока не вылечишь нос, наверное, и не получится сделать.
While we're with her.
Ой, проблем не пройдут. Так, теперь куда нам нужно пердолить? Ага, вниз, да? Вниз, все вниз. Кстати, тут задание есть. Тяночки маленькой.
Hello, Mr. Crossell.
Какую рыбалку? Пирожочек.
Oh, good, very good. All thanks to your advice, Miss Yanfei. What brings you here today?
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the
Одна
last time
треть.
we met, you mentioned that you were looking to source some Smaragdus
Тебе
jadeite
здоровья
for
сейчас
your
нужно,
hairpins.
чтобы идти в армейку.
Have there been any further
Тебе осталось немножко.
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, in the end I did acquire.
Что ты говорил, 20-го тебе нужно, да, сходить?
And had it fashioned into a pair of hairpins. Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize, I've already rented them out to a lady named Chiao. If you'd like to
Ренихард, привет. Нет, нет. Нет. Нет, Ренихард, еще раз нет. Мне больше нравятся девочки.
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a
Я не
contract
такой,
with
как
Miss
Евген.
Chiao before renting them to her. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in question, she must compensate me for its full original value. In return, I included a clause that guarantees the Smaragdus jade
Бывают, Ренихард, исключения. И я не из голубых. Ой, анонимус, заткнись уже, а. Вон, анонимус у нас любит мальчиков походу. Любитель няшных мальчиков.
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance we need. To ensure fairness, each of us has retained an original copy of the contract.
Ты прям такие глупости говоришь? Устраиваешь какое-то гейство?
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed our contract. Here, I'll mark it on your map for you.
Наказать тебя, анонимус, надо уже. Наказать. Сейчас буду звонить твоей маме, чтобы она тебя немножко наказала, мальчонку. Так, нам на Иордан. Наверх. Так, не сюда, что ли? Наверное, сюда. Особенно вас, людей на Твиче. А, нет, мне сюда не надо выйти. Куда, блядь, мне надо идти? А, здесь наверх надо забраться. Мне надо проходку найти. На вот. Скорее сюда его. Блядь, стамина закончилась уже. Топ. Ой, наконец-то добежала.
Whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with?
How do you do, Monsieur Chow?
Ох, анонимус, тебе, наверное, пора уже в школу идти, блин. Ты, мне кажется, уже засиделся дома. И смотреть на всяких голых тяночек. Привет, Сиропчик, привет. Что ты сегодня, Сиропчик, поздно заходишь? Да это я знаю, ёпт. Знаю, анонимус. Анонимус, тебя мама знает, что ты смотришь на голых тянок? Я говорю, Сироп, ты сегодня что-то поздно зашел. Обычно ты самый первый бываешь. Мистер Сироп.
Well, to keep up appearances. I can't have them looking down on me. But now that I've lost the hairpins, what will I do?
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of deja vu?
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Mr. Chow, would you let me have a look at the
Конечно, импайр, это все верно.
Well, I mean, sure, I have it right here. Here you are.
Let me see.
That's right.
Но это же тоже вроде бы запрещено. И я это не поддерживал. Разговоры о политике.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crosslow the original value of the hairpins as compensation for the loss. Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take
Что ты, Сиропчик, ты с компом уже все дела сделал? Он у тебя работает, не выключается? Или все так же? Все так же херово?
Even higher. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Juchao looks like she's about to faint.
However,
Так, пойду-ка я окошко
this
открою.
is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins.
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so how exactly would we be able to find out if the jadeite is genuine or not? Whichever way you look at it, we've got to start by finding those hairpins.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine, would there?
А, ну все, норм тогда, да? Играть можно.
Please. Please, however much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants after all.
Ой, что-то, честно говоря, я уже устал квесты делать. Может, побегаем по миру? Подкрываем всякие сундучки. Поделаем испытания.
I'll go and inform him of the issue and then negotiate the amount of compensation.
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. But before that, I have some questions about the hairpins. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow.
7 Days?
First touch the hairpins.
Что, ты все-таки хочешь 7 Days, что ли, поиграть?
Well, I remember that the gemstones set into the
Нет, анонимус, конечно, нет. Откуда мне такой язык знать?
like the finest quality jade. My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so I am quite certain of my judgment in this matter.
Smooth to the touch.
Так, блин,
Finest quality jade.
надо пати набрать, чтобы с кем-то играть. 7 Days. Че, мы вдвоем как два дебила, что ли, будем бегать?
Let's head over to Mr. Cross's.
Так, 107, да, есть. Так, вниз.
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins? I trust you're quite...
Да скучно, конечно, в 7 Days играть в Солян. Блин, вообще скука-то. Надо играть с кем-то.
You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how expensive they were?
I'm sorry. Truly I am. I'll pay the compensation as per our contract. Every last mora.
Mora? Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my hands on that Smaragdus jadeite? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back.
А, ты же мне, Сиропчик, вроде бы хоррор какой-то предлагал, который я хотел посмотреть. Как мне помнится, совсем недавно. Пару дней назад, наверное. Напиши еще раз название сюда в чат. Ну и в ДС-ку мне тоже в личку продублируй. Я позже чекну. Еще раз. Если все заебись, то можно будет хоррор вечером поиграть. С вебкой. Посмотреть, как я строю кирпичные заводики. The best insight. Придется поднимать пиратский флаг. Скачивать.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with you. It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk in more detail.
Так, найдите, что там? Удобное место для разговора Джи Цяо. Прям язык сломаешь. Так, а она где? Тут задание есть, можно забрать. А, в этой тянке маленькой. Тянучка. Так, все здесь. Кажется, птицу, да? Ну, надо мясо птицы. Что ты там опять скидываешь? О, давай пока без этого, ладно? Анонимус. Что, сиропчик? Так, сделал, да? Теперь куда пойдем? Что будем делать? Так, другим заданием, да, занят? Можно сделать дурные знамения, можно делать, в принципе. У меня по телеку фильмы идут. Я только включаю каналы, где там фильмы всякие идут, и не более. Другие не включаю. Да, в принципе, более это телек не смотрю. Да. Вчера отстримил немножко, еще смотрел Гарри Поттер. Там по телеку шел. Блять, столько заданий, оказывается. Можно мелкие квестики, что ли, поделать тогда? Да-да-да. Магия вне Хогвартса, ёпта. Так, тут что такое у нас? Течение веков собрано, да? Ну это я делаю, да, получается? Еще что здесь? А, после задания, да? Рыбалка, что ли, какая-то? Тебе нужно звонить в банк. Как у тебя ломанули его? Ну что тебе сказали там? наверх надо, да, вроде бы идти? Да, давай. А нет, не наверх. Вон она здесь. Маленькая тянка. Чан-чан. Так, что мне дали за это? Соточку. А не проще ли через ментуру тогда? Раз ты дозвониться не можешь. Угу, книжки давай сделать. Сделаем.
Why not keep me company?
Здесь тоже, да, можно прокачать. Угу, подтвердить. Первое я, наверное. Ну так а куда деваться? Так, таланты. Да, тут уже все прокачано. Тоже, наверное, можно, да, прокачать, а нет? Не качается. Барбара. Фаза возвышения 2. Что за фаза возвышения? Так, а вам не надо было, я прокачал. 50 левел. Угу.
There'll be plenty of time for work later.
Ну, душное задание, походу, блин. Свежее мясо. На, вот здесь 30-ку, да и давай сделаем отслеживать. Это мои сокровища. Но остается тогда дозваниваться. Но если чел не согласится, то скажи, что через ментуру. Разожгите костер. Подожди. Может через гобу получится зажечь. Баба. $1300.
Surrender and be gentle.
Replace my hammer. Picked the wrong test subject.
Так, теперь куда? Вот здесь, да? Корявые заметки прочитаем. Потом. Вершина, что-то, блять, не успел прочитать. Так, а куда теперь? Найдите сокровища. Блин, этот еще сагрился, походу, да. Сейчас размажем. Опа, блин.
My, you're in for a little shock.
Есть.
Let's dance.
Надо Лизу подхилять.
When I practice my spells in weather like this, I can do half the work for
Так,
double
это
the
ТПшка.
impact. I'm I'm just teasing.
Да блин. На вершине склона зимородка. Склон зимородка на вершине, да? Где-то здесь, что ли? Мы прям сделаем ТП. Кто-то делал это задание, ребят? Вот туда мне нужно наверх. Самый верх.
Come a little closer. You've been a naughty boy.
Найдите сокровища на вершине холма зимородка. Я уже увидел дерево, так что сделаю. Сделаю. Сейчас забраться только осталось. Сейчас руду пособираем. Белое железо. Когда надо, блин, железо не находил.
Another test subject. Freeze.
355. Сдох. Хоп, все сюда.
No gain.
Еще есть сокровища. О, колокольчик надо забрать. Подсказки должны быть. Но у меня нет подсказок.
One of my people will be here with umbrellas momentarily.
Так, остановимся, еще выше нужно немножко забраться вверх. Чангео. А вот еще колокольчик есть один. И бой. Вот я и забрался до конца наверх. Ну что, копать делаем? О, драгоценный сундук. О, 30-очка. Так, колокольчика вроде бы не видно больше. Есть сундучки. Можно сундучки открыть, в принципе. Либо дальше идти. Стойкость храбреца я хочу себе. А реально его выбить или долго придется фармить, бегать, траить? КП выше 50%. Магазин 140. Непостоянство сокровищ сделаем. Ну вот одни проблемы, да? Сиропчик. Странную круглую пластину. Так ты скажи родителям, блядь, ёпта. Чё очковать-то? Чё ты очкуешь? Крутая сделка. А, кстати, еду можно приготовить. У меня еды тем более маловато уже. Тупой меч. Коробка с накладными. А, вот мне коробку, да, надо было искать. Сатана воплоти. Неплохо ты придумал. Ветчина нужна. Угу, сделал. Здесь можно сделать питательный салат. На 6-12% только, да, идет. Миндаля нету. А, еще и вручную готовить. Больше не хватает. Так, сделаем, наверное, все. Подтвердить. Спелка тоже, наверное, сделаем. А, вручную надо. Еще 3 штуки. Яичницу надо сделать. А, в наличии 22, да? Можно тогда не делать, раз есть все. Так, давай сюда тогда что ли сгоняем? Мы сначала задание заберем. Следуйте лагерь монстров, давай сделаем. Куда нужно идти мне? А, сюда, в принципе, недалеко. Можно сделать. Так, куда Каспер убежал? Ага, увидел. А, вон. Увидел. Прям доведем его тогда. Пирожочка этого. Хочу сундук. Оу. Грибочки. О, вижу. Где-то его спрятали, конечно. Сразу и не заметишь.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire.
Be still.
Угу. Тропаки. Опа. А этот еще живой, что ли? Все сдохли. Картошка валяется. Хоп. Так, все, можно идти сдавать тогда, да? Ага, либо вот туда можно сгонять. Нет, не хочу. Пойдем сдадим квест. А ну-ка, погодь. А здесь уже полтос у меня сделал на новой пушке. Угу. Отлично. Так, теперь у меня здесь задание было. Приготовьте томатное рагу. На, вот мне сюда нужно. Че, я не сделал томатное рагу разве? Ладно, давай тпшку делаем тогда. А, или там у меня... Подожди. Сейчас посмотрим. На меня нет томатного рагу. Хода нет у меня рецепта. А у кого можно купить? В этом же можно, наверное, купить. Угу. Что я его не вижу. А, вот оно, да. А, мне же помидорки нужны были, которые я так и не нашел. Помидорки. Сейчас найдем. Манштат. Сейчас гоняю. Ха-ха-ха. Как смешно.
Opportunities to bask in the sunlight like this are...
На, вот и ветчина надо пить. На, рецептики. На, здесь нету. Что делать? А вот и помидорки. 10 штук возьму сразу. Вот я вот у нее ни разу не был, честно говоря. Помидорки. Сразу же 10 сделаю. Что, ты маме позвонил? Сиропчик. Ну и что тебе сказали? Все, миссия выполнена. А, еще не все, что ли? Харрису в 6 вечера. Ну, нифига, чего у вас, блядь, бабки постоянно воруют? Это что за дела? Эксперты выживания. Пора банк менять, наверное. Угу, все. Задание выполнено. Да, все верно, все верно. $60. А, вот это я не доделал, да? Нет, это круглая пластина, я не знаю, что за задание. Награды репутации какие-то мне дают. Один из 3.
Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it.
Пойдем обратно сейчас. Да, блять.
Let's take shelter for the time being. Don't worry, one of my people will be here with umbrellas momentarily. Ayaka was always scared of thunder as a child. Until one day, Mother told her that the sound of thunder is the voice of the almighty Shogun. After that,
Так, Лизу надо мне подхилять немножко. Блять, наверх что ли надо? И чё? Паразит.
she'd be able to hear exactly what her...
You're in for a little shock. You've been a naughty boy.
Ну это что такое растет? Конский хвост. Ай, да сюда.
Come a little closer. Blitz.
Так, все, готово. Блин, даже здесь сундука-то нету. Блять, наверх надо. Стоп. Так, пойдем наверх тогда. Поползем. Блин, прыгать не буду больше. Стамины не хватит. Ах, не удержался. Опс. Ой-ой-ой-ой, чуть не попался. Так, ну давай искать его. Каспера вижу. Блин, ну что ты делаешь? Малютка Каспер. Подожди, у меня может быть ключик даже есть. Надо посмотреть. Нет у меня ключа. Хоп-хоп-хоп. Так, пошли задание делать теперь. Камень X, истока X2. Так, где-то здесь, да? О, редиска. Да, редиска. Стоп, 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 стоп. Так, надо найти. А зачем я переключился? Не надо было.
You're in for a little shock. Blitz.
Там еще есть черти. На, все. Разобрал. Так, я так и не нашел, да? Накладные. Может туда забраться, повыше посмотреть там. А, нашла. Угу, у нее, значит, все было. Услуга за услугу. Полуночного нефрита нужно и... Ха. Да, теперь точно сироп. Наконец-то. Так, давай отдадим ей 3 штуки. А вот все 3 отдать. Все сделал, да, теперь последняя осталась. Да, сироп, скорее всего, так и будет. Соло игрок. $280 метров. А, давай пока эти заберем по дороге, наверное. Опа. Опа. Не, давай это сначала. Да, блин.
Yes. Very nice.
Конский волос. Вечерний гео. Так, где она? Я что-то не вижу. А, на крыше. Опс.
Come a little closer.
Даю. Тэш.
Nice and spicy.
3, 2, 1. Падла. Ну, почти забил. Готов. Блин, еще и сверху. Не достает. Ай, ёптыш.
You've been a naughty boy.
Че, сдох? Нет, не сдох. Не достает, блин. Угу, получилось. Там сундук надо еще забрать. Еще один сундук есть.
Yes. Very nice.
Драгоценный сундук. О, вообще неплохо. Так, ну что, нам дальше надо идти по заданию. Так, поменяем, давай попробуем сделать. Вместо сянки на элику поставим. Придется ждать еще.
No stone unturned. Time to clean up.
На время, да? Блин, опять бежать и менять, что ли, все? Да ну нахер. Я оставлю проще. Пойдем дальше на задание просто и все. Там сделаем. Упс. Забрали. Стоп. Ага, видел. На дереве есть. Яйца еще чьи-то. Оба. Надеюсь, долетим.
I have to stifle a smile every time I remember the look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my
Так,
plans
здесь
for the day.
Каспер нужен, да, нам?
Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition.
Так, полтусик метров.
This was a fine idea.
Ну все как обычно, да?
Come a little closer. Blitz. What do you think, cutie?
Хоп-хоп-хоп. Вот это долго придется долбить. Вон еще есть. Накладную вижу. Готово, забрал. Так, теперь давай наверх. Там имбер надо включить. И эти факелы зажечь. Сменить. Где-то, наверное, еще есть, да? Вот наверху. Готово. Богатый сундучок. Хоп-хоп-хоп. Все мое. Наверное, надо будет уже делать ТПшку. Вроде бы больше ничего такого нету интересного. Каспер, я так... Опа. Не нашел. Да блин, ты зачем так прыгнула? Летать-то кто будет? Опа, сюда. Все, можно идти квест сдавать. Угу, увидел кому. Ланда. Задание выполнено. 250. И 30-очку дали. Отлично. Здесь еще есть задание, которое можно забрать сразу же тогда. Да я случайно. Я не хотел. Так, сверху, да, задание, походу. Вот задание. Поэт. Привет, бродяжка. И сверху еще, да, есть. Надо тоже забрать. Пониже немножко. Давай, наверное, здесь спустимся просто и все. Да, у этого пекаря. Пень готовить. За пределами человеческих познаний. Присядьте за стол. Не сюда. Так, надо другое задание взять тогда. $60 даю, да? Кстати, ключ, который мне нужен. Либо это задание делать, либо, наверное, вот это. С Катериной нужно поговорить. Пойдем сделаем. Пойдемте к Катерине. Скоро уже 30-ку апну. Кашка.
Traveler, please, over here.
Сейчас подойду.
It has been a while since you joined the Adventurers Guild. Are your adventures going smoothly? Is that so? Apart from your own skills, another person to count on is always good after.
Yep, and it's even harder to get.
Ah, yes. I do have some Let me consult our records. Ah, there it is.
Wait, do you mean?
Может.
Does that stranger's face look?
Like the honorary knights? No, they couldn't look more
Okay.
different.
Seriously?
That stranger declined the. Nonetheless, you can. After all, it is not. And should the stranger be a strong adventurer indeed, he would certainly be a big help on your journey. Please don't talk down on yourself like that.
Ты все-таки почетный рыцарь Орда Погони.
Your deeds are the stuff of song for all the bards in the city, even now. Well, as to further news, he stands guard at the city gate. I wish you every success.
Новая глава. Так, сколько время? Угу. Что, может быть, на этом завершим? Вечером продолжим во что-нибудь играть. Вечерком. Рыцарь Вони. Да, возможно, хоррор. Возможно, да. Что, честно говоря, я уже устал играть. Да, все, ребятки, я на этом завершу тогда. Вечером продолжим. Скорее всего, будет хоррор. Скорее всего. Ладно, все, давайте всем до вечера. Пока-пока.